Hi, Sarah. So tell me about this movie of yours. I'm so excited about it.
Oh, thank you so much. Heightened is it's my first feature film that I've directed. I wrote it, directed it, and starred in it, which was a little crazy. It is a dramedy that deals with mental illness in a way that I hope is accessible and sort of showing both, not just super heavy, but also showing the light and the comedic moments that can come from it and how connection with other people who are dealing with similar things to us is what can kind of save us from ourselves.
Nice. And what inspired you to make this movie initially?
My own personal struggles and issues. While I have a lot of differences from the lead character, she and I share struggles with anxiety, obsessive compulsive disorder, and misophonia, which is a intense sensitivity to certain sounds.
Okay, and tell me about the main character. You just described her a little bit, but can you go more into depth about her? Are you the one that plays her, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
I played her. And yeah, so she is someone who, unlike me, has been struggling with those issues, but not really getting help. I'm a huge proponent of therapy and medication if you need it, and, just dealing with these issues. But Nora, comes from a family who doesn't really talk about their feelings and their issues. And so as a result, she's always sort of just tried to damp all of this down and not deal with it. So as she's going to take the bar exam, it all comes to a head, and she finds herself really needing treatment.
Thanks. And since you do so much in the movie, what was the biggest challenge of balancing it all and getting it all done?
Um, Directing yourself is a real interesting and difficult thing to do. I was very fortunate to have such a great team. My producer, John Herman, and my cinematographer, Rose Fatum Johnston, and also my script supervisor, Molly Hands, all became sort of de facto directors when it came to me and my performance. It's so hard to take a step back and say, as a director, sometimes you finish acting in a scene and you go, I don't even remember what just happened. So I was really able to rely on the three of them to sort of say, do you think we need to go again for my performance? So that was probably one of the most challenging one of the most challenging things, but eventually I fell into a rhythm with it.
And tell me, what was one scene that you're looking forward to everybody seeing without giving too much away, of course?
Yeah, there is a big sort of turning point in the movie is a dinner party scene later in the film where I'm in it, and the two actors who play my parents, Xander Berkeley and Sarah Clark, who are so incredibly talented, and then a couple other wonderful local actors. And it was a really challenging but fun scene to shoot, and it's a scene where we experimented a lot with the camera, and also it's just sort of it's one of those scenes where the tension is really high, but it's also really funny. And I love getting people's reactions on that.
Yeah, speaking of the other actors, tell me a little bit about them, the process of choosing who to play people. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, so obviously casting myself as the lead is the highest form of nepotism there is. And then
I like
my
that.
yeah, my co-star, who plays the male lead, Dusty, Dave Register, the role was written for him. He and I actually grew up in the same town, went to middle school and high school together. And now he's so talented. He's on Broadway right now in Leopoldstadt. He's just wonderful. So that role was written for him. And then the Xander Berkeley and Sarah Clark, who play my parents, were such a dream piece of casting. They are married in real life, so they have fun working together, and they're just such pros and have been in so many incredible. I mean, I think Xander's IMDb is like 250 titles or something. So having them on set was fabulous, and they brought really, really fun things to the characters. And Sarah, in particular, I think is playing very against type in this role, which is really fun to see. And then the other, Mike Mitchell is a comedian who I used to work at IFC TV, the comedy TV network, overseeing parts of a sketch comedy show called The Birthday Boys, which was EP'd by Bob Odenkirk. And Mike Mitchell, Mitch, was a fabulous comedian who I always thought was really funny and really great. And he's from Boston, from Quincy. So as I was thinking of who could I get to play this sort of villain that's also really funny, in this movie that takes place in New England, I thought of Mitch, even though I hadn't seen him in years, and I was so excited when he came on board.
Nice. And you said you worked with these legendary actors that play your parents. What did you learn from them, as not just them professionally, but maybe personally? What lesson was the biggest important lesson that you learned from them?
I would say, and it's something that I've known but really saw it put into practice, is preparation. You don't get that far in your career showing up to set and not having a huge grasp on your character and knowing your lines, and also having, Xander and Sarah both would come up to me with their scripts and say, I've thought about this and I wonder if my character would actually say this line more like this. And I, as the writer, would go, you're so right. I just really having the ownership of making the characters your own while also being collaborative and respectful about it, not just trying a line your own way without talking to anyone, but saying, can we do it this way? And they were always right. But yeah, really that preparation and that just respect for the craft and for everyone there and everyone's time.
And what's next for you? I know this is getting ready to rock the world, because I know it's going to be so it is so amazing. So what's next for you?
Thank you. So yeah, this I hope will open the door to directing more, acting more. I'm currently writing a feature that is for someone else to direct, not me. So that's a different challenge and really fun. But yeah, then I'll be writing more. And my dream is just that this can open some doors for people to show people what I can do with a smaller film, and hopefully people can give me bigger things to direct.
And what would be the dream role for you to have?
In terms of acting, or
Yes, yes.
yeah, oh goodness, a dream role. I've done so much comedy throughout my life. I think next I would really, really love to tackle some drama and maybe a period piece.
I would like that. Yeah, what would be your dream piece to write? I mean, I know this was an incredible piece to write, but what would be, if you could write about anyone and cast anyone in your project, what would it be?
Yeah, well, I'm a huge sci-fi and fantasy fan. I'm a really big and so if I didn't have to think about budget or anything and could just write whatever I wanted, I think I would write maybe some sort of space epic. And my dream actor to work with before he retires would be Sir Patrick Stewart.
Hey, throw it out in the universe. You never
Yeah.
know. You never know. It could
Yeah.
happen.
As a big sci-fi nerd, Captain Picard has led me through a lot of tough times. So, I would love to do something huge.
Well, I have one thing to say about that. Blah.
Yeah, Kapla, thank you.
Yes.
Uh,
That's like the only thing I remember from my Klingon lessons.
oh
So
my God, a fellow Trekkie, I'm thrilled.
yes. Yes, actually for my 40th, I'm getting a tattoo that in Vulcan that says live long and prosper.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
I grew up with my mom, yelling Klingon at me. So
All right. That just like is coolest mom ever.
yes, definitely.
Yeah, if you could top it, if you could get your dog to respond to Klingon commands.
Oh my God. Well, yeah, my Chadich.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And one more question before we have to go, since we're TV and movie as well. What are you watching these days in terms of TV and movie?
So right now, I have one episode left of Mrs. Davis, which has been so fun, and incredible. The Damon Lindelof show. I love him as a showrunner. I love people who just swing for the fences and make the craziest possible thing that they can think of. So that's been a show I've really been enjoying. Let's see, for movies, my favorite movie of this past year was Bardo. It just spoke to me on such an incredible level. And to similarly, actually, to Mrs. Davis, to make something that is just so not concerned with maybe what audiences will like, or just to really put out those feelings and images and stories that are so ingrained in you, and just to swing for the fences is just a dream.
Beautiful. Well, Sarah, it was a pleasure to speak to you. I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to talk to you
Thank
again
you.
soon.
You too. Wonderful to meet you and speak with you.
Likewise. Thank you.
Thanks. All right, John, I'm leaving.
Oh,
There.
okay, Sarah, there we go.
Okay,
Round
great. Thank
two.
you, guys.